Hi, welcome to the channel. My name is Elena.
My name's Erin, and this is the Romance Awards. In this video, we are going to be talking about all the romance novels we have read since we're now in the month of February and love is in the air.
We were inspired by Leonie from the book Leo. Her best books of 2023 video was so good, so we thought we'd feature romance books with a little twist as well.
We've come up with some categories, and we've nominated all of the romance-heavy books that we've read for each one.
And the categories are
Best Banter,
Best Meet Cute. I feel like an actual awards show presenter.
Most Toxic Relationship,
Best Power Couple,
Best First Kiss,
Cutest Couple,
Coolest Romantic Setting,
Her.
And then we get into our trope categories. Best Second Chance Trope,
Best Enemies to Lovers,
Best Dual POV,
Best Love Triangle,
Worst Spicy Scene,
and finishing strong with our favorite book boyfriends.
Great. Okay. All right, so the first category is Best Banter.
The first nominee is Alex and Henry from Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. The banter is so good, and half of it happens over text and email, which I think is how a lot of us banter these days, so I loved it.
The next nominee is Nora and Charlie from the book Book Lovers by Emily Henry. She is the queen of banter, and I just loved how Nora and Charlie really seemed to have a good rapport back and forth. You could literally see them falling for each other in the way they interacted.
And it's laugh out loud funny. The next nominee is Adalyn and Shallan from the Stormlight archives. I think as a reader, you're really hoping these two will hit it off. And when they actually meet in person and start chatting about what their lives are really like, you can see the sparks fly.
And the last nominee is January and Gus from the book Beach Read, also by Emily Henry. These two, again, are just so cute, and I love the way that they engage with each other, and the running jokes that they have throughout this book are just feel very realistic.
It's that Emily Henry effect.
Yeah.
And the winner is Nora and Charlie from Book Lovers by Emily Henry. It had to be.
Just takes the cake. And the next category is Best Meet Cute.
Tristan and Yvain from Stardust by Neil Gaiman. When Tristan first comes across Yvain in the forest, there's all that amazing dramatic tension because the reader knows more about Yvain than Tristan does, which makes for a really funny and sweet meet cute.
Clementine and Ewan from the book The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. Clementine and Ewan literally run into each other when they're both living in the same apartment, just 7 years apart. And it's obviously chaotic and weird, and it takes them forever to figure out what's going on. It's adorable.
And the next nominee is Vin and Ellen from Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson. As a book lover, the idea of meeting a man at a party who is hiding away reading a book, stop it.
And the last nominee is Mallory and Nolan from the book Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. These two characters meet at a charity chess tournament. He is the reigning world champion and she is an unknown underdog, and they are pitted against each other in the first match, and it is electric. And the winner is Mallory and Nolan from Check and Mate. We love it when a girl turns the tables on a man.
On a man, specifically. Next, we have one of my favorite categories, Most Toxic Relationship.
Okay, first up we have Signa and Death from the Belladonna series by Adalyn Grace. He's Death? Shh. He meets her when she is 2 weeks old, and then they kind of end up being a couple, so that seems fairly toxic to me.
Yeah, that's a mild yikes at best. The next nominee is Evelyn and Celia from The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I was rooting for them, but y'all get it together. They are a mess. I can't even argue that they're good for each other in the end. I just wanted to see it all fall down around them. And the next nominee is Marianne and Connell from Normal People by Sally Rooney. But really all Sally Rooney couples kind of fit the most toxic relationship category.
For sure.
It's one of those situationships that everyone has been in or at least seen a friend struggle through, where you just wish that they would open up to each other and say how they really feel.
Yeah. Did you mean to say situationships?
I did mean to say
Cool.
situationships.
I've never heard that. Yeah, I like that. The next nominee is Constanta and Dracula in A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. So this is just, first of all, it's Dracula, and they're in a polyamorous relationship. There's a lot of jealousy. There's a lot of violence. It's toxic.
And the winner for most toxic is Marianne and Connell.
Had to be. Sally Rooney, you know how to write a toxic relationship. All right, the next category is Best Power Couple.
Yes! Okay, power couples, let's go. Our first nominee is Emily and Wendell from Emily Wilde's Encyclopaedia of Faeries. Ultimate power couple because their strengths and weaknesses play off each other perfectly to help them overcome any obstacle.
And the next nominees are Adalyn and Rowan from the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. Adalyn on her own is incredibly powerful, and then when she meets Rowan, who is also one of the most powerful fae in this world, I honestly can't even explain how much of a power couple they are without spoiling half of the series. So we'll just leave it there.
And the next nominee is Kiki and Malachi from Honey and Spice by Bolu Babalola. They are such a power couple, both leaders on campus and prominent members of their community. They're both super hot, super smart, and always stand up for what they believe in.
Next we have Rhys and Feyre from A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I'm not even sure if they need much explanation. They're both very powerful, and I was about to say shit up, but I can't say that. And the winner is Adalyn and Rowan from Throne of Glass. I'm not joking. These two are so powerful that I think that they could go up against almost any couple in any other book and win.
The next category is Best First Kiss.
The first nominee is Violet and Xaden from Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. This first kiss is just beyond.
There's lightning in the skies.
Yeah, a little unexpected. I mean, it was just...
The slow lean in.
Ooh. Yeah, it was good.
Honestly, better than most full spicy scenes, in my opinion.
I would agree. Yeah, for sure. Prudes.
Yeah. And the next nominee is Michael and Stella from The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. Their first kiss is so sweet, and she doesn't even think she likes kissing, you know? She's like, ugh, I have to learn how to kiss. It's going to be such a chore. Guess what? It's not a chore. She loves it, and it's very cute.
The next nominees are Iris and Roman from the book Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. Elena is currently reading this book, so...
Yeah. I don't want to get spoiled. I'm going to plug my ears.
Okay, I mean, I won't say too much because I do think it spoils. But when these two finally do get together after all that they've been through on the front lines, it is so satisfying and so adorable. It's just a great first kiss.
Sounds good. And the final nominee is Alex and Henry from Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. Alex and Henry's first kiss is totally unexpected. It's so funny and exciting, and the reader is just cheering because you've been wanting and waiting for this. It's very cute. It also happens on White House property, which risky.
Yeah.
And the winner for Best First Kiss had to be Violet and Xaden from Fourth Wing. I mean,
so good.
Ugh.
And the next category is Cutest Couple. The first nominees are Jack and Rain from the book Last Call at the Local by Sarah Grunder-Riez. Jack and Rain are just so cute together. The way they help each other through their personal struggles is just really endearing, and you can't help but just think that they are so adorable by the end of the book.
The next nominee is Mika and Jamie from The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana. This is a classic inverted grumpy sunshine trope. He's a grumpy librarian. She's a sunshiny witch. I mean, unproblematic faves right there.
Yeah, they're adorable together. Next nominee is Florence and Benji from the book The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. Benji actually ends up being a ghost who is kind of haunting Florence, and Florence is in a really vulnerable place, and she goes back home and happens to just be able to rely on this ghost who is following her around, and they're they're really cute together. It's just a really beautiful way to start a relationship with a ghost.
And the final nominees are Kiki and Malachi from Honey and Spice by Bolu Babalola. I've already told you how cute these two are, and what is cuter than a grand romantic gesture, okay? It's cute. And the winner is Mika and Jamie from A Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. Jamie is just like a little cinnamon roll of a man, isn't he?
He really is, yeah. They're so cute.
They're adorable.
Okay, and the next category is Coolest Romantic Setting. The first nominee is Cleo and Mac from the book One Night on the Island by Josie Silver. This book is set on a cottage on a remote island, and the two main characters basically are double booked and have to share this cottage together and can't leave because it's remote and they can't get off of it. I mean, what's more romantic than that? It's so cute.
The next nominee is Celia and Marco from The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This is a magical circus that shows up without warning overnight. The setting of the circus itself ends up being a love letter of sorts between the characters where they're able to express their feelings through magic. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Next we have Effie and Preston in A Study in Drowning by Ava Reid. This book is set on a crumbling, decrepit manor that's basically falling into the sea. And this is where the two main characters spend all their time and essentially fall in love. I mean, it's so gothic and vibey. It's beautiful. And last, we have Jack and Rain from the book Last Call at the Local by Sarah Grunda Ruiz. This book is set in an Irish pub.
That's where I want to fall in love.
And the winner is Celia and Marco from The Night Circus. I mean, this book literally is all atmosphere.
The plot is secondary to the setting.
Yeah.
That's how good this setting is.
Yeah.
Our next category is her.
Basically, this is ones where we're like, you chose her?
Why?
Why?
I mean, okay.
The first nominee is Elsbeth and Raven from One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. Elsbeth has no agency. She's a wet blanket. She's the main character that everybody doesn't want to read about. You'd rather hear about all the other characters. So when Raven says he loves her after 2 interactions, basically, it's confusing.
The next nominee is Iris and Geo from A Winter in New York by Josie Silver. Iris is a horrible lying liar who lies. Like, what? Why would you choose a horrible lying liar who lies?
Is she really hot?
She better be.
The next nominee in this category is Elsie and Jack from Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. I do kind of get why Jack's into her, but really I don't. Because he spends the entire book telling her how much he likes her and she just does not seem to get it. And I really don't see what he sees in her and why he feels that he needs to keep... Is he trying to convince her or is he trying to convince himself that he actually likes her? I don't get it, really. I mean, I like her name, but... That's about it.
That's about it.
Yeah.
And the last nominee is Emily from Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Faeries. Now, let me just say I love Emily. She is...
Do you?
Yes, I do. Emily is such a unique and interesting protagonist. I'm totally rooting for her the whole book. But I was genuinely surprised when that romance came forward. I did kind of feel like, so...
Her?
I mean, I'm here for it. I'm on board and I'm cheering for it. But, okay. And the winner in the her category is Elsbeth and Raven from One Dark Window.
Truly, Raven, you could do better. Get with the nightmare, okay?
Yeah.
Next, we're getting into the trope categories. The first trope is Best Second Chance Trope. And the nominees are... January and Gus from the book Beach Read by Emily Henry. I'm counting this one as second chance because the two actually knew each other in college and they're kind of reconnecting or meeting each other again years later. And things didn't really go that well when they met each other in college. And they get a second chance at love.
The next nominees are Vivi and Reese from The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling. These two dated when they were 19, and when it doesn't work out well, she casts a playful hex that turns out to have very real repercussions, not just for Rhys, but for the entire town. So years later, they have to band together to unhex her ex.
That is a second chance if I ever heard one. Next, we have Win and Harriet from Happy Place by Emily Henry. These two have broken up and have to pretend to be together for the sake of their friends because for some reason they don't want to tell their friends that they are broken up. That's a whole separate issue.
Great friends.
But conveniently get a second chance at love because of it.
And the last nominee is Eva and Shane from 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. These two spent a week together when they were teenagers and fell madly in love, but were separated by circumstance and misunderstanding. Years later, they're both famous authors for very different genres, and you come to find out that their books have actually been love letters to the other one over the years.
It sounds so beautiful when you said it like that.
I did pull that out of my ass,
lovely.
didn't I?
Yeah. And the winner is Vivi and Rhys from The X-Hex. It turns out to be a second chance not just for them, but for the whole town.
The next trope category is a classic, enemies to lovers.
This one was heavy-handed, yes. The first nominees are Livia and Eric from the Ever King series by L.J. Andrews. Livia is a princess who gets kidnapped by Eric, the king of the Ever, a rival country of hers.
And he's a pirate king too, isn't he?
He is.
The next nominee is Violet and Xaden from Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. Her mom killed his dad. He's the one person everyone tells her to stay away from because he'll definitely kill her.
Next, we have Rowan and Evander from the Lachlan Feud series by Ellie Madison and Robin Mall. Rowan is a princess of a neighboring country who gets stuck in Evander's country.
Cute. That's fine.
Okay.
And the last nominee for Enemies to Lovers is Rain and Aurea from The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. She is the adopted daughter of the Vampire King. He is a member of a rival vampire court, and they are both contestants in a Hunger Games style tournament where only one can live. And the winner is Rain and Aurea because eventually one is going to have to kill the other. What's more enemies than that?
Okay, the next category is Best Dual POV. This is like such a fun trope. Do you know what I mean?
I love this trope.
To be able to see both sides of the relationship. First nominees are Jack and Rain from Last Call at the Local by Sarah Grunder-Riez. This is such a cool dual POV. They're both neurodivergent. They both have a lot going on in their heads. Without being able to really dive into what they're both thinking, this book wouldn't have been half as impactful.
The next nominees are Connell and Marianne from Normal People by Sally Rooney. Having the dual POV in this one, when it's kind of a toxic situationship, as we referenced before, keeps the reader from siding too much with one character or the other. And there are times where you hear the internal dialogue of a character and wish they would just say that to the other, but they don't.
It adds good tension, yeah. Next, we have Eric and Livia from The Ever King by L.J. Andrews. It's really cool to see both sides of this relationship, especially because Eric really is an onion that you need to peel a lot of layers off of. And I feel like without being able to hear his internal monologue half of the time, it really wouldn't have hit the same way.
Oh, he's like Shrek.
He really is. And last, we have Nesta and Cassian from A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. These two, man, I don't even know what to say about these two, but Nesta is a mess. Being able to see both sides of this really layered their relationship and made it a lot easier for the reader to root for them and see what they were having to overcome in order to get where they are. And the winner is Jack and Rain from Last Call at the Local. I think that they win for sure. The first spicy scene in this book is from the perspective of Jack, and we don't get a lot of books where you're seeing any spicy scenes from the male point of view, and it really adds something different to this book.
And the final trope category is Best Love Triangle, the drama.
The first nominee is Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. You have 4 central characters in this book. Bobby and Frances, who are best friends, and a married couple, Nick and Melissa. There's basically a bunch of interweaving connections and relationships between the 4 of them. It's all just kind of a big mess. This is not a triangle, it's more of a square.
The next nominee is These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan. The love triangle here between Bree, Finn, and Ronan. It's kind of a classic love triangle trope where one is blonde and fair and beautiful, and the other is your dark shadow prince. And the main character has to choose. And the final nominee for Best Love Triangle is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. It would be a spoiler for me to say which characters are in the love triangle here. But what I do want you to know is that this is one of those love triangles where the reader is truly torn between which guy she should choose. I feel like it hasn't been since Twilight days that we've really had to struggle to decide.
Yeah, there are clear sides, and there are clear reasons why each side works. It's a really good love triangle, I think.
So the winner is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. DM us and tell us who you think Bree should choose.
Okay, next, the worst spicy scene in a romance novel.
I feel like spicy scenes are so subjective, but these ones truly are bad.
First, we have Jack and Elsie from Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. The reason this makes the list is because Jack has this strange tendency to constantly ask Elsie over and over in their first spicy encounter what she wants him to do. Over and over, to the point where I'm just like, dude, just try something. Just pick and choose, like go for anything at this point. She obviously doesn't know how to answer you. It's a struggle to read. I felt very uncomfortable.
She's got decision fatigue by the end of the spicy scene.
Dude, like just make a decision, all right? She doesn't know.
Oh my God, that's really funny.
I was not into this.
How unsexy would that be? Okay, and the next nominee is Iris and Geo from A Winter in New York by Josie Silver. The scene goes like this. I'm really sad about my dead wife. I'm really sad about my fake dead husband. I'm so turned on right now. And then they go to town.
I don't understand what she was thinking with this. This just makes no sense to me. Okay, and the last in this 3 nominee category is Sage and Ten from short for Tennessee, from the book Witch of Wild Things by Raquel Vasquez Gilliand. I can't really say on YouTube exactly why this was so bad, but suffice to say, in the first spicy scene, Ten asks Sage a question that I just found very inappropriate and unappealing and not sexy, and would instantly cease all spicy activity in real life. I don't know what this author was thinking by putting this in, but I'm going to tell you, this scene was not it.
And the winner for worst spicy scene is Iris and Geo. Starts bad, gets worse.
Elena literally DNF'd this book pretty shortly after this scene, so it really needed to win. Okay, and we are down to our final category of the night, arguably the best category of the night. Ultimate Book Boyfriend. We have 4 nominees. Will you start, Lena?
I will. The first nominee is Rhys from ACOTAR. What can I say? He's the bad boy with a heart of gold.
A shadow daddy.
Shadow daddy, chapter 55. I mean, there's memes on memes about Rhys.
I will say that he is like the standard. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Whenever you talk about other book boyfriends, he is sort of like the standard that you rate them on.
He's the daddy. He's that shadow daddy.
Yeah. Okay, next we have Gus from Beach Read by Emily Henry. Gus is the epitome of the brooding, sexy, tall, dark-haired writer. Tortured soul, but super hot and kind at the same time. I mean, Emily Henry has a type when she writes these books, and it is exactly my type. He's got to be in this running.
Love it. My next nominee is Rain from The Serpent and the Wings of Night. Whew, truly a morally gray character. He has that rugged thing going for him where all the other vampires are all perfect and poised looking, and he has like mussed up hair and 5 o'clock shadow. I mean, it's hot. Plus, he's an amazing friend. He really respects Aurea, and he's a vampire.
And the last nominee for this section is Xaden in Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. Xaden has to be on this list.
I feel like he's a lot of people's book boyfriend.
For sure. I mean, like, I think he's Rhys perfected.
2.0.
Like, yeah.
Xaden is another shadow daddy, but unlike Rhys, he actually trusts Violet to get it done on her own. He empowers her and believes in her ability to do whatever she sets her mind to, and that's hot. So we each have our own book boyfriends because we can't share. So my ultimate book boyfriend would have to be Rain. He's funny, and I have such a crush on him. I just
You
have
do.
that crush, you know?
Yes, I know you've talked about it very frequently. So I'm going to switch things up here. I mean, I would have thought mine would have been Xaden, but if I'm being honest, Gus from Beach Read is my ultimate book boyfriend. I think about him all the time. He's just someone that I could actually fall in love with in real life.
And that wraps up the 2024 Romance Awards. We should definitely do this again next year with all of the romances we read
This year?
Yeah.
Yeah, and see how they stack up.
Let us know what books you would have nominated for these categories. And if you liked this video, please like this video.
And subscribe if you are new here.
So until our next video, see you soon.